On July 16, 1985, 10-year-old Sheketah Brown and her family seemingly vanished into thin air. And although their father confessed to their murders, they still remain missing persons 39 years later. Sheketah was last seen with her mother, 27-year-old Carolyn Brown, and two brothers, 6-year-old Barry Brown and 2-year-old Brandon Brown. Their father, 35-year-old James Michael Brown, was also seen with them as well. Carolyn's mother, Rose Walker, grew very concerned when she couldn't reach them for several weeks. The last time she laid eyes on them was July 4th, so in August, she finally called the police. Now, at first, authorities weren't really concerned with the family's whereabouts, and they didn't really think much of it. But a search of the Brown family home would reveal a deeply puzzling scene. Food was reportedly left on the stovetop as well as the dining room table. It looked almost as if they had just picked up and suddenly left their lives. It was upon further investigation that things began to unravel. Police found Carolyn's purse and her identification torn up, as well as a freshly painted room in their home. Further analysis would reveal the fresh coat of paint was used to cover up bloodstains. But this wasn't figured out until later. Aside from that, there were no other apparent signs of any struggle. James was said to have contacted Carolyn's sister prior to this whole disappearance, telling her she could have anything from inside their house. Weeks later, Sheketah's father would reappear in a hospital in Savannah, Georgia. He had checked himself in under the name Demetrius Jones after suffering a gunshot wound to the head. He eventually revealed his true identity and confessed to killing his entire family before attempting to kill himself. He stated that he killed Carolyn by shooting her as she slept, and then killed Brandon by smothering him with a pillow because he was sleeping next to Carolyn in the bed. He then dumped their bodies in Palm Beach County, Florida. James stated that afterwards, he drove Sheketah and Barry to Brunswick, Georgia. There is where he shot them and left their bodies along the interstate. He admitted to shooting Sheketah in the face and Barry in the head. He was charged for the murders of his wife and daughter, but was later acquitted of the crimes after being diagnosed as a paranoid schizophrenic. He was apparently never charged for the deaths of his sons because police weren't sure where he actually murdered them. He was eventually admitted into a mental facility and after that, stayed at various locations. He would later become a free man again, but it wouldn't last long. In 2005, James was sent to jail for a bank robbery where he threatened the life of a bank employee. The remains of his wife and children were never found, despite extensive investigations. Carolyn, Sheketah, Barry, and Brandon still remain missing persons. Foul play is suspected. At the time of her disappearance, Sheketah stood 4 feet 6 inches tall and weighed 65 pounds. She had black or dark brown hair and brown eyes and also wore eyeglasses. She would be 49 years old today. Her mother, Carolyn Brown, stood 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighed 180 pounds. She had black or dark brown hair and brown eyes. She too wore eyeglasses and had a gap in the middle of her front teeth. Carolyn would be 67 years old today. Anyone with information regarding this case is urged to contact the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, the Port St. Lucie Police Department, or their local authorities. Their information as well as the case number can be found below. To hear more stories like Sheketah and her family, tune in to Hunting for Answers, a true crime podcast, available on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you like to podcast.